Today we're talking about the latest Tesla news, including a possible new upcoming Model Y configuration, some new details about the Model S and X, Tesla doing some prep work for their future robotaxi network, and more, so let's get into it. First up today, we're talking about the Tesla products that many people forget about, solar and power walls. Tesla's solar roof and power walls have been proving incredibly useful in certain areas of the United States hit with extreme weather conditions. Tesla has an entire solar division that installs solar onto existing roofs and installs their own Tesla Solar Glass, which is an integrated solar roof product that is supposed to cost around the same as re-roofing and adding solar. They also sell power walls, which are essentially giant batteries for your house. These power walls allow you to store solar energy that you aren't directly using, charge your car with that energy later, or keep your house running during a power outage. Tesla Powerwalls have been coming in especially handy for customers in Texas suffering from large, sweeping power outages. @Michelle4Tesla posted on Twitter about her power going out 6 times in 2 days. She never lost power though, because her Powerwall took over when it was lost. In other more extreme scenarios, we can see this photo and GIF posted by Christian Garza showing that his entire neighborhood is dark except for his house. Another example of this was posted by the Tesla Owners Club of Austin, showing a house staying on and keeping warm in the dark neighborhood thanks to Tesla Powerwalls. There's a lot of discussion to be had about what's going on in Texas right now, but what we can see is that having Powerwalls is an incredible safety backup for your home no matter where you live. These blackouts in Texas were caused by extreme cold, but power outages are essentially going to become commonplace in California due to fire risk. Right now, of course, just like Tesla's cars, Powerwalls are pricey and not everyone can afford them, but hopefully long-term Tesla can get the prices down to a place where it makes even more sense to have solar with Powerwalls, and it can keep your home on, safe, and cool, or warm, depending on what you need. That's one aspect of Tesla's battery production and their 4680 cells that they talked about at Battery Day that I haven't seen a lot of people discuss. Dropping battery prices means that Powerwalls can become cheaper and more people will have access to an electric safety net for their home in case of extreme, dangerous conditions like we've seen recently in Texas. Speaking of Tesla's solar roof as well, another thing we saw this week is that it handles snow remarkably well. A few people posted about this, but the most popular video was done by Jason Lacine. He showed how snow doesn't really accumulate on the solar roof. The rest of the homes in his neighborhood were snow covered, but snow slid right off of his roof over time when the snow was falling. Another example of snow sliding off the roof was posted by the Tesla Owners Club of Austin, as we can see here. Elon replied to this video saying, quote, "The Tesla solar roof is slightly hydrophobic, so water, snow, or ice slide off easily." One particular reason this matters is because you need the sun to access these solar panels in order to generate electricity. If the entire roof were covered in snow, it would be blocking a lot of that functionality. So in a snowy season, you'd have to clear the roof or else your setup may not be totally functional. Luckily, as Elon mentioned, the solar roof is slightly hydrophobic. We're seeing more and more examples of just how useful Tesla's solar roof and Powerwalls are becoming, and again, hopefully they will be able to get cheaper and cheaper over time. Right now, they have been somewhat limited on installs and locations, but Elon Musk confirmed that the solar roof will be coming to Canada and Europe later this year. As always, take Elon's tweets with a grain of salt, but he responded to 2 different people, one asking about Canada and the other asking about Europe. For Canada, he said, quote, "later this year," and for Europe, he said, quote, "hopefully later this year." I'm very interested in Tesla Solar and Powerwalls and plan to learn a lot more in the coming future, so make sure you're subscribed, and if you plan to get solar, you can use my referral link below for a $100 reward. Now let's talk about the Model Y. The Model Y is a crossover SUV, which is a very popular category of car. However, a large portion of competing cars have a much higher ride height and ground clearance. For example, the Toyota RAV4 or CR-V have a much different feel to them when compared to the Model Y. The RAV4 has an 8.4-inch ground clearance, whereas the Model Y has a 6.6-inch ground clearance. The Model Y has a higher ground clearance than the Model 3, but it's still fairly low for a crossover SUV. A large part of this is efficiency, but for those wanting to do any sort of off-roading in the car, there hasn't really been a good option from Tesla. Tesla plans to make the Cybertruck the ultimate off-roading vehicle, and Elon wants it to, quote, "kick butt in Baja." But in the meantime, if you want to off-road your Tesla, it may be a little risky due to the ground clearance. We've seen custom shops like Unplugged Performance make an off-roading version of the Model Y, but this is a significant aftermarket modification. Well, a Tesla Model Y was spotted at Tesla's Fremont factory by the kilowatts. The photos are taken using the Tesla dash cam, so they aren't the clearest, but this Model Y is clearly lifted and dirty. It rides much higher than the standard Model Y does, and it appears to have some sort of different wheels compared to the normal wheels. My first thought when seeing this was that it could simply be a Tesla employee driving around the factory who got this aftermarket kit done by a third party, but it also appears that this vehicle does not have rear plates. It seems like this is very likely a raised Model Y being tested by Tesla and could be an option coming in the future. As I mentioned earlier, most SUVs and crossover SUVs ride much higher than the Model Y. 2 inches higher is the industry standard. This would come with some efficiency disadvantages, but many customers want to have a higher ground clearance. Some customers want to drop the car and have it as low as humanly possible for speed, performance, and efficiency. But as Tesla expands to more and more customers, there will be plenty of people who just want a nice car that won't bottom out if they drive in a bumpier area. I think this would be a great option for customers to configure before delivery, or a great option for Tesla to offer at their service centers for customers wanting more of a traditional large SUV feel in the Model Y. We're going to talk a little more about the Model Y in a second, but first let's get into the Model S and Model X delivery timelines and a leaked video. The new Model S and X are coming soon, and Tesla has recently updated their delivery timelines online. Per usual, Tesla has yet to give official dates to order holders, but their website now shows delivery at 4 to 11 weeks for the long-range Model S, 3 to 8 weeks for the Plaid Model S, and late 2021 for the Plaid Plus. The fact that the Plaid Model S could potentially arrive in 3 weeks is super exciting, considering it will be the fastest production car when it releases. I can't wait to try one out. For Model X timelines, Tesla has pushed them back quite a bit. The Model X now shows delivery of both the long-range and Plaid models coming in May to June. Both of these cars share essentially the same interior with the new horizontal screen and yoke steering wheel. However, as we've seen, Tesla is only testing prototypes with a normal steering wheel. Tesla has given no indication that a normal steering wheel is going to be offered for these cars, but again, out of 3 or 4 prototypes that have been spotted in the wild, all share the same round wheel. This secret video posted on Twitter shows the interior with another round steering wheel. It's not the best video, and as Chris, the original poster of the video, said, quote, "This feels illegal to watch." We can see the cream interior and a new angle of what the rear screen looks like. It's definitely a nice bright screen. If we freeze on the steering wheel, we can see that it has the exact same controls that have been confirmed for the yoke steering wheel. So even the round wheel, however Tesla lets customers choose it, will have no stalks, as Tesla has mentioned. It will guess what driving direction you need, and your blinker, lights, autopilot, and more will all be controlled by force touch buttons surrounding the scroll wheels. If we look at the main screen, we see what might end up being the best utilization of screens Tesla has done yet. The new 17-inch horizontal display appears to do exactly what the right 2/3 of the Model 3 and Y screen does. So your maps will be very large, easily accessible, and clear for you. With the holiday update, the maps have actually gotten a little bit smaller and more to the right in the Model 3 and Y, but this Model S screen will only have that map screen since all the necessary driving information is displayed on the instrument cluster display. The buttons on the bottom of the screen are nicely separated, and it even has the long-lost Tesla T at the top of it. I'm also very curious to see if Tesla figures out a different way to utilize apps as well, or if pulling up music, for example, will end up covering the entire 17-inch display. That's essentially what it does in the Model 3 and Y, but 1/3 of the screen is locked to driving information, and as I've mentioned, the Model S will not need that information on this display. I'm incredibly excited to see this car come to be, and if you happen to be taking delivery of a Model S anywhere in Southern California and would be interested in letting me check it out for a review, I'd love to. You can contact me on Twitter and Instagram, or use the email linked below. Going back to the Model Y, Tesla now has a secret version of the Model Y that customers can buy. I mentioned this a bit in my last video, but if you are interested in a cheaper Model Y with a smaller range, even though Tesla's website does not mention it, you can buy it. It's like getting fries well done or a Neapolitan shake at In-N-Out. It's off menu, but it is 100% available. Tesla and Elon Musk have a firm belief that anything under 250 miles of an EPA estimated range is not worth shipping, which is why they ultimately canceled the standard range Model Y. However, if you contact Tesla directly, you can still buy this vehicle. You can't configure it on their website, but for certain drivers, this car is the perfect option. It still gets enough range to cover nearly all driving tasks and has access to Tesla's supercharger network, which enables road trips to most destinations. The only real downside there is that with the shorter range, you'll be charging more frequently than you would in the long-range Model Y. Real quick, I just wanted to mention that the merch store is finally up, so you can get this shirt, also the sweatshirt I've worn in many previous videos, and this mug linked below. Here's a close-up on that mug, and I personally like it, but maybe I'm biased. Regarding Tesla's future ride-sharing plans, Tesla is still hard at work on their full self-driving beta. A small handful of customers are testing it and posting regular videos, but Tesla has clearly been delayed from their original plan for 1 million robotaxis in 2020. We've seen small indications of how Tesla is doing prep work for the future of full self-driving and robotaxis, but just recently, @GreenlyOnly found some interesting code. This code showed that Tesla is looking to move user profile information into the cloud instead of being stored on the car itself. Currently, Teslas hold profile information for different drivers, which includes app settings, seat settings, mirror settings, climate control settings, and more. The idea here would be that when you get into another Tesla, you would log into your cloud profile and feel right at home. Google Chrome could be a good example of this. When you log into Google Chrome on a different computer, you have access to all of your favorites, your passwords, and more. It makes it feel like you're browsing on your normal computer. For a future Tesla ride-sharing network, this cloud feature would make any Tesla you get into feel like your own. Whether these are self-driving or you are renting them for driving, it's a great feature that is taking these vehicles even further into the future. I personally love the idea that if I borrowed or rented a Model Y in a different state, I could load up my profile and immediately feel like I'm in my own car. Now moving on to safety, we've talked about Tesla's safety quite a bit on this channel, but Tesla just received another award from the IIHS for the 2021 Tesla Model 3. The Model 3 received their top safety pick plus as a mid-size luxury 4-door sedan. Overall, the score for crashworthiness is great, which comes at no surprise, and they only got a less than perfect score in a few categories. Tesla makes some of the safest cars and some of the least likely cars to get into an accident in the first place. It is oftentimes an overlooked feature of these cars, and it's a huge incentive for those looking to buy, but also feeling that Teslas are still too expensive. Electric cars still come at a premium for the time being, but with a Tesla, you're getting all the benefits of an electric car as well as the best safety a car currently offers. Now moving on to Tesla stock. Over the course of 2020, Tesla's stock had an insane rally. It continued to rally through 2021, and over the past few days, we have seen a larger dip than usual. As I'm filming this video, the stock is actually up quite a bit, but many people have been trying to figure out why exactly it dipped so much recently. This is in no way financial advice, so keep that in mind, but Tesla recently bought about $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. They did this as an investment, but also to push into the future and possibly take Bitcoin as a form of payment for their vehicles. Interestingly, Elon Musk hasn't actually been too positive about Bitcoin overall. A few days before Tesla's stock was dipping, Elon tweeted about Bitcoin and finished by saying, quote, "BTC and ETH do seem high, lol." Bitcoin also had a dip when Tesla's stock was doing the same, and many were drawing parallels between the two and Elon Musk, including a take from Wedbush analyst Dan Ives saying that Tesla's stock is, quote, heavily tied to Bitcoin since Tesla's large purchase of it. He continued saying, quote, "There is a lingering worry that the Bitcoin sideshow could overshadow the overall EV growth story playing out for Tesla in 2021 and beyond in the eyes of the street. It'll be very interesting in the future to see how much Bitcoin and Tesla stock end up being tied together, and also how much people think that they are tied together going forward. Tesla's Bitcoin purchase was a big move, but it is also a small amount of Tesla's on-hand cash. Get ready for a ton of headlines trying to explain all of Tesla's dips as analysts like Alexander Potter continue to set Tesla's price target at $1,200. Speaking of Tesla stock and short sellers, Bill Gates has been in the news recently as Elon Musk accused him of shorting Tesla's stock. He mentioned on Joe Rogan's podcast that Bill Gates doesn't know much about electric cars, that he had heard from multiple people that Bill Gates had a large position in Tesla, and that, quote, that didn't work out too well. Well, Bill Gates was asked in an interview to comment on that, and here's what he said.
I think Tesla's an amazing company. I wish I'd, been more on the long side, but, it's great. And
I mean, you judge for yourself. Do you think Bill Gates shorted Tesla and lost a bunch of money? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Last up today, Tesla released a fun video on their LinkedIn profile showing them testing their recent holiday update. It's a behind-the-scenes video showing how they tested out fart mode on Boombox and what it looks like to be a part of Tesla's vehicle software team, and more. If you have LinkedIn and you're interested in Tesla, it's definitely worth following them because they post a lot of exclusive things like this from time to time. In the meantime, if you want to know more about the latest Model S updates from Tesla, you can check out my latest video linked over here and in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.